Caps start date, born 2/8/25. After revealing my bald spot to the crew, I decided to go in a little deeper into the happenings of this process. I'm going to keep going in through the process of making a movie, because that's what we're doing right now. We're making a project. And our goal is from a theatrical release, we're about 2 years out. So I hope you're ready for this journey. And I want to encourage you to also make your film. And you can do what we're doing. That's why I'm doing this. So this is the process where we're at right now or to let you kind of get you up on the timeline so far. The idea it was back in, I don't know if it was November or somewhere around there. I had one of my mentors was like, hey, you need to work with these guys on the job, meaning training with the Lumen Institute and all that kind of stuff. So that was really the impetus of okay, that's what we're going to do. Then I talked to some of my other board members, the people that I'm working this with that have been walking alongside of me, and started figuring out exactly how's that going to look. And we've come up with one of the next steps was to come up with 6 different projects to pitch. And that happened back in February. That ball started coming together, starting to understand what that was going to end up being. And then in March, we pitched that. It was mid-March. We pitched those ideas to people. And here we are a month later, and we know what direction we're going to go in. We're a week away from our first draft, and getting up to the first draft, there was a lot of coming up with kind of boarding the idea, outlining it, and figuring out what's important, what are we trying to say in the film, what's our moral premise, all those sort of things, so that you can go learn a lot about from even Stan Williams and guys like that. Then the next step is next month, or actually the beginning or another week or so, is we're going to move into setting up a private investment. And so I'm going to approach someone that has been walking with me for some time now through all this project, and I'm going to ask if they will host a private event to bring people in, and those would be our private investors that we would start this with, and then they would get for investing first, you get special preferred rates, things like that, and then it'll go open to a public offering where the rest of other people who still want to invest, they can come in and take part of that. So but first I need this very important person on board to say yes, because they are a person who has influence. They basically they know a lot of the right people, and that's important. That's important. So if you go back to one of the first podcasts we did with the podcast for Catholic filmmakers, it's you've got the theologian, you've got the artist, and you've got the benefactor, or the patron, as we called them. And those patrons are really hard to find. So dear patrons, know you're hard to find, and contact people like me or other filmmakers that and we need to find you, or just keep your eye on them and watch their work and see what they're doing, so you're hard to get to. And I think there's a lot of projects out there, probably someone who's watching this, you are watching this, and your project's probably pretty good, but you're trying to figure out how you're going to get it funded. And you got to just keep pushing along, because if the Lord wants it, He's going to do it. I'm going to talk about that in a minute too. But so that's kind of the process of so in another couple weeks, we'll have our private investment date and know who our host is for that date, and then we're going to start inviting people to that, and then in practicing the pitch. So once we have the first draft of the screenplay, we'll kind of know exactly where the pitch is going to go, and we'll keep tweaking and making it greater and greater and greater. So the screenplay is going to keep being draft after draft after draft, and I'm going to send it to people who I appreciate. I mean, and like appreciate their feedback, and I know that they're willing to punch me in the gut if need be. And so we'll keep that part going too at the same time. And so then in another 3 months, or let's see, May, June, July. So 2 more months, 2.5 months, we'll have this private event, and then following another month later is when it'll become public. So by the end of the summer, depending on when you're watching it, we'll be about 8 or 9 months into this process that's been going on here. I mean, like going back from, 4 months from now. Is that about right? Yeah, somewhere in there, 3 months. So if you're trying to figure out how long it's going to take and how long it's going to take you, those are sort of some of the parts. So, and then I've been reaching out to people too about like who I need on my core team. So I want to try to give Catholic filmmakers lots of opportunities that they can come and work on this project and we're going to make a movie the way God would make it. So the way God intended, right? And that's with a lot of love. So, but I also know that there's key positions that I have to fill with people who are also great mentors. And so those are the people that I've been reaching out to right now, and telling them a little bit more about the project, and taking their feedback and like listening to it all, and figuring out how to move forward. So that kind of brings us to the financing. So a lot of times you're trying to figure out like what is it going to cost to do this, right? And quite frankly, I have an idea, but I'm not certain. But you can get lost in budgets. Like if you find yourself getting lost in budgets and you're spending too much time on a budget, then you need to kind of generalize a little bit more. I've done plenty of budgets in the past, and this time my approach really was, I was just like, okay, I think if we're going to film for 25 to 30 days. I think we're going to film for 25 to 30 days, and I think we're going to need crew sizes from, around 40, and cast might be, big days, maybe it's going to be 30 or something like that. Very kind of basic numbers you're working with, and then you just kind of like, you can get a handle on, you can get in the ballpark of where you're going to be, and you can realize like, oh my goodness, this is going to cost a lot more than I thought, or it's not. But it doesn't matter too, because if you've done some of the points in the process that I've talked about before, like the first one, to be still and know God, being still and knowing God, when you do that, you can hear his voice. You'll hear him speaking to you into your heart, not like the thundering, shaking, mighty, rushing wind. It's the gentle breeze, right? It's the gentle breeze. The second step is speak, Lord, your servant is listening. So you got to listen. So once you know God, you know how to hear his voice, and you listen. And then now he's been guiding you, right? You're guiding you on this project. You're trying to do it for the glory of God. The normal things that are going to trip people up, or trying to slow things down or whatever, you're not going to deal with those. But you are going to deal with other things. You're still going to have trials. It doesn't mean you're going to have the happy life and all this kind of stuff, prosperity gospel, all that nonsense. It doesn't exist. It's garbage. It's not real. Sorry, it's not. You're going to have to deal with the sufferings of life. Pick up your cross and follow me, said Christ. And that's what we're going to do through filmmaking. The only reason why you want to make a movie is so you can like purify your soul and get ready for heaven and take as many people with you. That's the goal, right? So if you're being still, you're knowing God, you're speaking, listening to him, and then you gotta be willing to do the ridiculous, and that's kind of where the right now with the financing part comes in, because this project is coming in a lot more than I thought it was going to be. But guess what? If I'm doing what God wants, God has all the money. Okay, the money, he's got it. You know where it's at? It's in your pocket. It's in your pocket. And so it's got to go into where he wants it to go. And that's why we're all stewards. I'm a steward of my gift. I'm a steward of my finances. I'm a steward of my family. And I got to bring them where they are supposed to go. They need to go to heaven. And I got to bring my gift to where it's supposed to go. And right now it's on this project, and trying to encourage you to make yours. And whatever finances I have, which is not much, that's got to go into making this work. All right, being a good steward of whatever I got. So, but if God, it's only ridiculous when we think about it in our terms. All right, but for God, it's not ridiculous. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is. It's for him, this is what you're supposed to be doing. So don't look at it. We can't look at it. And I'm constantly taking off my lenses, my glasses, and trying to put on the lens of the Lord. All right, I need the Lord's lens so that I can just plow forward and move in the direction, because there's going to be all kinds of distractions and all these sort of things that come my way, and they're not always, some of them, they're all going to make me stronger, and they're going to bring glory to God, because that's my disposition, is that whatever comes, I'm going to use it to bring glory to God, in the sense of that, like giving thanks to God for this temptation, this distraction, this opposition, whatever it is. And there will be tons of it. And I probably will be standing in front of this camera sometimes, like ready just to weep. I don't know. We'll find out. It's going to be a long journey, right? So, but that's going to lead to the next point that I'm going to get to the end. Like, after you're willing to do the ridiculous, and we're doing ridiculous things right now. I can tell you that. And you got to figure that out. And the big one, grande, in my opinion, is I love Saint Raphael. Okay, this guy is incredible. I've never seen a prayer to him. Maybe I have. I got a short memory. But I got one now. And I've been saying it constantly, every day. And I want to encourage you to ask me for it. Ask me whatever in the little comments or something, and hopefully I'll look at them and I can send it to you. But it's a Saint Raphael prayer, and he talks about like leading us, guiding us, like he guided Tobit, right? He guided him on the trip, and he got him to Media, and he got him to his bride, and then he got him back home, and he met the right people along the way, and that's what Raphael will do for you. Saint Raphael can also lead you on your journey, and if we all did this, right? If we all, we're asking Saint Raphael to lead us, guide us. And of course, Christ leads us. And of course, of course. But Raphael, he's an angel of the Lord. And the more people who ask him, the more paths, the proper paths are going to cross. Because let's face it, we mess things up. And especially in the Catholic world, the thing I see all the time, I see silos everywhere. All these people who are trying to do something for the glory of God, and they're in their silo, though. We got to break out of our silos. That's the only reason I'm standing in front of the camera, just sort of bearing my soul, is so that maybe you will too, and maybe you are, and I just want to encourage you to keep doing it, because once we all kind of come together and unify, bigger, better things are going to happen. All right, so yes, that is some of the ridiculous things that Saint Raphael will lead you through, and he just makes things happen. I'm watching it, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see, and he's going to call you out of your comfort zone. I've got lots of comfort zones, and I got a nice comfort zone in an area that I'm not comfortable with, and a lot of times those are the people that Saint Raphael has been telling me to contact. He's like, hey, what about this guy? Hey, what about this person? And I'm like, oh, do I really? I don't want to kill this person. I don't want to try to hunt this person down or whatever it is. But guess what? I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it. And I've been doing that even with the distributors right now. It's trying to find the right distributor, someone I think is going to match the project. Because I'm not just raising finances to make a film, I'm also raising finances to market the film for the P&A, right? Because it's going to go in the theaters, and it's just like, if we make a film and no one knows about it, what's the point, right? We got to let people know about it. So we're totally going after the P&A money too. And it makes sense. I think it's very reasonable, and it's prudent. It's prudent. It's a lot more money, but it's prudent. So I don't want to hide our light under the bushel basket. If that makes sense. Just contact me and I can talk to you about it if you want. So then the final thing for Captain's Log is number 5, move at God's speed. Move at God's speed. And this does not mean we get to like go as fast as we want. But at the same time, we have to try to push. We push, but we wait for the Lord. And we have to, and that's why we're speaking and listening to him. And we can kind of see, is this the time or is it not the time? What doors are opening? But as long as you keep trying to open doors, he's going to open the door he wants you to walk through, right? Whatever that next door is, he's going to open it. But we have to try to keep opening the doors. And that's where I find myself right now. Like, I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to go reach this person, or I'm trying to get this part ready, and things I don't like, all right? I took plenty of finance class and accounting classes in college and all that stuff, and I hated every minute of it. But I'm doing it. But only to the part that I need. So I'm also asking for help in those areas. Okay, I'm reaching out to those people who can help me in those areas. And the Lord's providing. He is providing. So I got to ask, I got to try, and then walk through the door that he opens. And discern that door before you walk through it. That's moving at God's speed. And being okay with that. It kind of goes back to one of the fourth point is like being willing to do the ridiculous, because the Lord may make you wait. And then he may not make you wait. He may make you move really fast and you feel like you're being imprudent. And, well, you got to know, but that might be God's speed. And usually that's just enough time. It goes on long enough that, you have peace with it. Spiritual director is very key in all this, and bearing your heart to them, and so they can see your heart and see if it's pure, because you want your heart to be pure as you're moving through this process, so that you stay on track and you're not wasting your time, anyone else's time, and certainly you're not wasting the time God's given you, and because it's for his glory. And that's important, and that's a big difference, and that's going to be a huge difference in the way you treat everyone that's coming around you. So, and the summit is coming up in October, and what's kind of interesting is that this project is moving faster than I thought. I thought, Lord, I'm just going to take it slow, and I'm going to let you do what you want to do. But things they just keep clicking, and I'm wondering how that's going to change the summit. I don't know. But what I do know is a lot of the key players that are going to be involved in this film are going to be at the summit. And so I'm kind of excited to see what it morphs into. But it is going to be a lot of quantities of time with these quality people. And if you're a Catholic filmmaker, I totally want to encourage you to come. If this is your profession, and you want to learn more, then you can go to the Lumen Institute too. You can check that out and get involved with that and start to learn and build the community. It's very important. So. And the whole reason why we're bringing the community together is because we want them to know one another. So when they're on set, it just works so much better. It's in one sense, it's kind of easy to crew up, right? It's easy to get crew, but we're trying to do something different. We're trying to do it different. We're trying to make films the way God intended, with lots of great love. And there's lots of people who love out there, but there's when there's greater intention and people who want to then do their projects with the same kind of mentality for great love, for the love of the Lord, for evangelization, all those kind of things, you're the one I want to help the most. I want to help whoever God brings me. But so, all right, I'm starting to ramble, and who knows. But the next time I see you, I hope to see Christ in you.